Hey, what's up? Today we're going to be discussing our more advanced Skylark tutorial. I'm going to probably go over things just like placement and where you want to be when you're fighting other mechs and even just pilots. Mobility and how to use Skylark's very fast speed. And maybe just attack styles and possible combos you can use. It'll take time, depending on what you play now if you want to switch to that. But yeah, let's get into that. Alright, so we'll start out with placement first. So I remember back when I started playing the game, and I used Skylark in that very beginning period. I remember that I was a very head-on attacker. Like, I would rush in against a caramel or whatever, right out into the open, and depending on if they were good or not, I would win, but when they were good, I would definitely lose. And it took a long time for me to figure out why that is, because, I mean, my brain can be not the greatest at times. But anyway, so what you want to end up happening when you are battling with your Skylark is you always want there to be a slab that covers you from your toes to the top of the wing on Skylark's shoulder. The reason for this is when you are rushed by another mech, or just are battling a long range mech, you need that cover so you can just pop in and out and be able to have the whatever it's in front of you deflect other shots. In my opinion, the best cover, now this is actually pretty funny, the best cover you can possibly find is if you know how to really use your jump and can angle yourself to jump each direction. A tree, believe it or not. A tree is really good, especially if your opponent is right under the tree. When you are jumping from that tree, you can go over them without them having a clue what the heck is happening. That is like the best cover for visual effect. And I think it's actually very efficient. But anyway, yeah, so your placement, it's very important. You need some sort of cover. When you're battling, Skylark, with its stab, its primary attack, can poke in and out very quickly, makes it very hard for opponents to hit you. And it's very efficient. You just pop in and out. You can use your speed to jump over the whatever is in front of you and then shoot. What can be problematic at times is when you try to use the hunt while you do that, because when you're coming down, your hunt is also being timed that way. So sometimes the hunt can end up hitting the thing in front of you. So you gotta perfect that. It's you'll get it, but you'll see the pros can definitely do that kind of combo and get over the top. Yeah, so that's placement. Now we're into mobility. Mobility is Skylark's strong point. That's why there is a Skylark in the game. Mobility. Alright, so this is the best way to very quickly destroy your opponents. Mobility, while using the speed ability, I don't know, can absolutely destroy your opponent's mech and their brain. The reason for this is if you add the combo of jumping while you use the speed, it makes you a very hard target to hit, as well as your brain gets very caught up in the fact that it's moving so fast, but when it's jumping, it not only has to arrange to fight that, but also gets very intimidated. And this is why you need to play that way. You want to make yourself intimidating. I think my skin for Skylark, Peacock King, is actually very ironic, because peacocks are known with their little tail feather thingies to be a defensive pose and intimidate their offenders. So, anyway, that's just random info. Mobility. It's the way you defeat your enemies. The speed can do almost anything to destroy your enemies because it can get over them and it zigzags around. Now, the best way to use this is if you have an angled ground and your opponent is above you. It's very, very helpful to use this speed and go along the slanted area you're on. It will disorient your opponent, and you will have the upper hand even though you're down below them, because they're going to be confused what is happening. So the best thing about Skylark is its mobility. Every time the cooldown ends for the speed, I immediately use it, even if there's nobody in sight. It just makes it all better, and yeah, it's very, very important. Mobility is a very large part of Skylark's gameplay. You need to use that with the cover, and if you do, you're probably going to win. And lastly, combos. So I've already kind of discussed this, but I'm going to give you 2 combos for now. The best combo in the game is when you have cover. Talked about that. When you use your speed, we talked about that as well. But the single best thing you can do is jump and incorporate all of those together. This makes for a very hard target to hit for your opponent, and whether or not you know how to really aim with the stab can very quickly defeat opponents. You really do need to, believe it or not, I find this very embarrassing. My hunt, the secondary weapon, I am not very good at. My primary weapon, the stab, that's how I win my games. That is my strong point. I do not think you really need the hunt. As long as you have cover and can use the stab, you're pretty well off. So that is one combo: jump, speed, use your stab, and have cover. And combo number 2. So combo number 2 is solely based on your hunt. Another wonderful attribute to Skylark is how its hunt has its wings on it, and the wings are not defeated, unlike the head of the hunt, by walls or cover. You really need to use this to your advantage. What you're going to do is you're still going to have cover, but you're going to peek out, aim, as long as you like, actually, under 5 seconds if you can, and just try to get that angle and hit them behind their cover. This will work very well if you have the marker. It's red outlining. I think it's a defense module. It works really well with that because it'll mark it, and then you'll hit it with the hunt and take its damage, and it might not even know where you are depending on how you're positioned. That's very, very helpful. So what you're going to do is, if you're advanced enough, you will use your speed and poke out and use your hunt to get that angle. It's very efficient. You'll need to try it a couple times in training room maybe, but just behind the bleachers or whatever. It's very helpful. If you're struggling with it, do not even think about adding jump, but once you get the hang of it, you can try that. That's kind of what I do. It's very helpful. So that's combo number 2. So to conclude this video, here are the things you need to know. Your mobility, you need to get fast. I play fast, I think fast, and it works. So play fast, but not too fast, or else you'll get confused by yourself. That makes no sense. Just go with it. Your positioning, always have cover. Try to stay above your opponent. If you're looking down on them, it works very well. And combos. Work out how your play style is, and just practice that. And I don't know, maybe you'll end up being able to really play well with Skylark. I really hope this helped. If you're not aware, I'm attempting a live stream Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah, so I hope you liked the video, and hope to see you at the live stream. Thanks!